Alright, hello and welcome to a quick little video on running the Billy Goat 18-inch Pluggr / aerator. This thing is a rental. I've run it this morning already, no issues, or no issues starting it, but I think the tines are blunt. First thing you want to check is that the tines are clear, so that the thing actually plugs. I've found consistently this morning that this one wants to not eject the plug and then just, I mean, it's still punching holes in the dirt, it is just not plugging, which if it's just punching holes in dirt, it's really compacting around the dirt, or compacting the hole. Yeah, not doing what you want in aerating. This tine is also loose. Don't have a spanner to rectify it with, but I'll sort that shortly. Anyway, simple startup procedure. On off up here, turn it on. Down here, bottom tap, fuel tap. Top tab is choke. It's a Honda motor, so you'd hope it runs, and this one, in this case, runs it well. Before I start, we'll just run over the basics. That lever pulled forward, as the sign sort of says, lifts the tines up, push the forward lever down, and the tines are dropped down. The lever here activates the tines. You might have seen as I started it, the tines started to move, and that's just sort of indicating that the clutch is a little bit worn, but as soon as they touch the ground, they stop, so the clutch engages. Anyway, I'm going to do this little yard and we'll see how it goes. there's a quick demo. I think throughout that video you would have seen that, maybe seen I wasn't getting nearly as many cores as I should have been, because this thing is not wanting to eject. So the launch should be far filthier because there are way more holes than there are plugs, and that's a Trundle plug. Not as big as it should be, but I'm still getting what do we get? 1.5 plug or core hole. Anyway, another thing you might have noticed, well, is it self-propelled? The answer to that question is sort of. The tines will drive the machine forward a smidge, but it's not self-propelled, so if it does bog down for any reason, you have to muscle it. The slope I'm on here is pretty gentle, but any greater slope than that and you're definitely going to be muscling it up and down the hill. So we can get a good shot of the slope. Not really, a couple of degrees at best, but after that you're going to be pushing it. In terms of the track of the machine is quite wide, 27 inch wide, but it's only an 18-inch cut. So what that means is you definitely need to track your machine, like when you run the wheel, and then when you turn and do the other stretch, you definitely want to overlap when you can see the distance between the wheel, almost the wheel's thickness and then the wheel. So if you're following the tracks, you're going to almost leave a 10-15 inch gap that's not chord, so you almost want to path and follow your wheels and then go back again and deliberately center on the wheel mark, or make sure you overlap. And I think you can sort of see here, this line here where I've had the wheel mark, like there's less core holes, and I had to double back and come down here and do it again. Anyway, very straightforward to use, very simple DIY machine. You just need to have a trailer and a ramp really to get it to and from wherever you want to go. In terms of this being self-propelled, I'm going to have to get it out of this garden bed, and that's going to be a nightmare because that's a little bit of a hill. Not going to be able to get a run up because I'll hit the garden edge. And the self-propelled is only by jamming the tines in, and I don't want to jam the tines into the garden bed to propel up the hill. Anyway, there it is. A simple little video on the Billy Goat 18-inch aerator Pluggr / lawn corer. I'll do a couple more little areas and then that'll be done.